So both teams have not played a lot of close games this year. Albany week 1 had a 22-21 win over Trinity Christian from Lubbock. And then in the third round of the playoffs, it had a 19-14 win over Munster. Meanwhile, Mart's closest regular season game was 36-21 over Centerville. Weren't you at that one, Chad?
I did cover that one, yep.
And then in the last 2 playoff games, the Panthers have had to rally in the second half after trailing at halftime. One of those games was a 57-20 game against Lovelady, so that second half really went Mart's way. And then obviously the 38-24 win over Chilton. So all that to say, if this does turn into a close game, and DJ was just saying she thinks it might be, does that favor one team over the other, since they really haven't had a lot of experience in that? What do you think?
Well, I think Mart kind of makes runs like a basketball team, Like you look up and like the other night we looked up and they'd made a 17-0 run, They'd scored 17 straight points and kind of turned that game around.
Didn't they end up scoring 24 unanswered?
Yeah, I believe so, because they were down 24-14 and they won 38-24. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if Albany is in the situation where Mart can get that momentum turned and get on one of those runs, then Albany's in trouble. Yeah. So yeah, a close game, I think in that sense benefits Mart.
DJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have seen it in the past 2 weeks, is that Mart got this sort of drive of, especially being down both of those games, just you blink and all of a sudden they're marching down the field and you can't stop them, right? So, like I said, it's going to be a close game, and and like Chad mentioned, if Mart gets going, and especially in the second half, then Albany's going to be the one on the ropes having to try to stop them. And I think that's what the Panthers want.
You know why I think it could benefit Mart in a close game is because of a guy that Chad mentioned just a minute ago, Armando Chavez. Talk about an X factor in a close game. If it does come down to a kick at the end, I feel like you're pretty confident knowing that, you've got a kid out there that's done it for 4 years, that's really reliable, that can finish off a game like you want. Obviously, we saw that with China Spring, with Mr. Automatic for a couple years there, Thomas Barr. So if it does come down to the wire and it comes down to a play and Mart, gets a crease and gets into the, Albany territory and they're like, rather than run a play that might be low percentage and try to score a touchdown, let's see if we can kick a field goal to win the game here. I mean,
I'm looking at Albany stats.
Go ahead.
Their kicker Z Wagoner has 3 for 3 on field goals with a long of 35, and he's made 68 of 82 extra point attempts this year.
So I would say Mart definitely has the advantage of kicker then.
That's probably pretty typical 2A kicking numbers for this time of year.
I would agree. Yeah.
If they decide to go for 2, I mean, Armando has also made a 2-point conversion pass this postseason. So it's not like they don't have,
hopefully Kevin Hoffman's sitting there going, shut up, DJ. The Albany coaches might be listening.
I don't think they're going to try to go for 2 because there's just such a high probability that they will be able to get the ball back there at AT&T Stadium,
Yeah.
So they can feel confident they'll get the ball back, so they'll go ahead and kick.
Nice.
Throw back to an earlier story. So go back, watch old podcasts, and you'll get that.
Yes, exactly. I like it. I think we just talked about that last week.